And then fixed an issue with Yasuo's spell targeting. So Yasuo carry augment should actually be pickable again. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Check this Yasuo. Wasagi! Up, no one. This is stupid. This is so stupid. It is just the beginning of the patch and there's already an augment that's broken simply because of a small bug fix, and it's not as bad as Time Knife Shen, but honestly I think it's kinda close. So in this video I'm going to tell you exactly how you can play this comp if you have the right augment, and I'm also going to cover one of the best French player on TFT on one of his games to show you an example of how you can play it. So the comp is all around playing Yasuo with super and as many duelists as possible. And this comp is playable only if you have Wings of the Wanderer, which is basically the only augment that allows Yasuo to transform him into a real hyper carry. And in order to play this comp, you have to play your level 6 with this comp. So you have to have the 3 super and then you have to have 4 duelists. And then at level 6 you have to slow roll in order to find your 3-star units. It's extremely important to find Fiora 3, who is going to be your best tank, Malphite 3, Lee Sin 3, Yasuo 3, Gangplank 3 if you can, but you're not going to have it all the time since you roll at level 6 and you need some space on your bench. But with this comp at level 6 you should be able to win a lot of fights because the super will give a lot of damage to your Yasuo. But also it will transform Lee Sin, Malphite, Gangplank and Fiora into good secondary carries, so never underestimate of the damage of your team. And once you have found your 3-star units, you can start to push level 8 in order to add 2 more duelists to make all your duelists, well, tankier thanks to the damage reduction. So with this comp, it's easy free win. You can, even if you have 1 HP but you manage to hit this comp, you should be able to make top 1. It's incredibly broken. So for the items on Yasuo, there are multiple good items, but I think the best combo you can make is Jewel Gauntlet, Hand of Justice and QSS. This gives your Yasuo 100% crit chance and gives him a lot of damage. As for the QSS, it's simply because there's a bug with Yasuo when if he gets locked or CC'd at the moment when he uses his animation for his ultimate, he will just fizzle and the ultimate will disappear and you might lose fights that way. So by having the QSS you still add more damage because you have more crit chance and more attack speed, and also it avoids having this kind of bad RNG fights. And another point to add is something, and this is the stat, this is not me, I'm going to show it here. So Quicksilver is actually the item that has the highest top 4% rate and win rate, I think as well. 36, I didn't check this. Yeah, there's nothing better than Quicksilver. So this is clearly underrated and people don't value this, but actually if you play it, since you have crit with Jewel Lotus or Jewel Gauntlet, it's a must-have. But is this comp really broken? Is this comp really impossible to beat? Is this comp actually one of the best comp you can play no matter where you are from? Actually, I think I have the best footage of the game from Paddleball, who against all odds, with an extremely bad start, still managed to have an insane game just because he plays this comp properly. And I'm going to comment over it, and I think you guys will find that extremely interesting to see how you can play this comp from a position that's not really advantageous, but also like to see how powerful this comp is and like how broken it is so you can abuse it in your ranked. Tactor is the sponsor of my channel. Tactor is a Discord server where talented players like Enzox create free TFT guides for you, like this Quick Draw Lucian. It's also a place where a growing community likes to hang out and talk about their favorite strategies on games like TFT, League of Legends, Marvel Snap and Clash Royale. Soon, Tactor will launch a website where knowledgeable players like you can create guides and monetize your gaming skills. Alright guys, this is Padball, one of the best players in France, who's been competing many times in the huge tournaments and also played in Worlds tournaments. So this guy is a must follow if you understand French, if you want also to improve your skills. And yeah, he's really good at also finding the small techs, the small techniques, the secret things that not everyone is saying, and share it on stream. So definitely go guys, follow this guy if you understand French. And if you don't, then I'm sorry, but French is a great language, so you should learn it. Anyway, let's get back into the game. He started with a tier, got a pair of Lulu. Well, for now, the early game is very difficult for him, like he has a blue buff. And right now in the meta, if you don't play Yasuo, you want to aim for Star Guardian with Kai'Sa, or even with Nico, you can have very, very good results with Nico, not just Kai'Sa. Because, I don't know, for some reason, Star Guardian even didn't get buffed, Kai'Sa got nerfed, but at the end of the day, that's still the strongest comp. So, probably because Haka doesn't exist anymore, so they don't have any natural counter, and that's why this comp, even with some nerfs, is getting like way too strong right now. So that was his plan. Especially like now, he has a very weird start. If you want to play Star Guardian, you don't want to play blue buff, you want to keep your items for Kai'Sa and Misfortune, so you prefer to have Shojin or Static. He decided to pick Jerry Lotus. Honestly, I think this with Axiomark are probably the best two offensive augments of this set for now. And unless they nerf them or they change something, it will still be the strongest augments you want to pick. So his issue is like he has a okay-ish board. He can push and want to play strong board, but he cannot slam items. So that's a weird position where you have a strong board, but you can't use your items, so you can't have a win streak or loss streak. And that's usually the spot that people don't like in general. Fast forward, he didn't lose all the fights. He actually won one fight, and that's why he doesn't have the priority. He was greatly interested in that Kai'Sa with the road, but of course, since he didn't have the priority, he couldn't get it. So he's completely lost. He doesn't know what to take. He took AP, so road, in order to potentially make Archangel or not necessarily Jerry Gauntlet, because he already has Jerry Lotus. But anyway, that's a good item to have. And maybe even Ionic Spark if he can't find a static later, but you know, like he already has two tiers, so he doesn't really know. He's a bit lost. Like again, like he lost 2 fights, but he won 1, so he can't aim for perfect loss streak. He has pushed, so he has a very low econ. He has to make 10 gold right now, and that's what he's going to do. But his board is like pitiful. He will not win anything with that. So fast forward again, like I said, he lost all the fights except one, so he has a very low econ. He doesn't necessarily have a high HP. I mean, it's nice, 78. But honestly, you prefer to have much more if you actually pushed and play this kind of aggressively. So now he's just waiting for the augment because like he's like only Kai'Sa can save him. The Kai'Sa augment. There's only one Kai'Sa augment that's good. Is the carry augment. I think it's multi-shot. That's the name of it. That basically spread Kai'Sa's stack. The other one, which is I forgot the name. The Kai'Sa augment that gives crit chance and crit damage is not okay because he already has Lotus, and also because this augment has very low win rate according to statistic on GM and challenger players. So this is why if you want to play Kai'Sa, pick only the Kai'Sa augment carry. The other one is a bait. And if fast forward, he loses the fight. He's very contested. There's already people with Kai'Sa. There are already people with Misfortune. So honestly, like he's so contested on Kai'Sa. And from this point of view, his game is doomed. Here are the augments. He wants Kai'Sa, but only one Kai'Sa. He can't find it, and here it is, the wrong Kai'Sa augment. And you can see at this face. Like this is the face of someone who wants just to slash FF in the chat, and instead he didn't pick that Kai'Sa because, like I said, it's a bad augment. Don't pick this one, even if you want to play Kai'Sa. And here he picked the Winds of the Renderer because he knows this augment is the most broken augment right now, and no matter where you start from, if you have this augment and play correctly around it, it's a free first place. So we're gonna check it. He hesitates a bit because the haze items are really bad. Even you don't want to have blue buff on Yasuo. You don't want to have so many tiers on Yasuo, so he picks one. He decides, I think at this moment, to reforge one tier because like he doesn't need that many tiers. He got chain vest, so like look at this face. Just look at this face. This is the face of someone who's about to give up the game because the spot is you can't have such a bad spot in a game, and like he has no upgrades except Wukong. He has no unit to play Yasuo at 3-2. He has 69 HP. He has a low econ because he didn't manage to have a perfect loss streak strategy. And he's losing like fights hard because the guy has like Kai'Sa 2, Rel carry augment, like he gets perfect here. Like this is one of the worst spot possible you can have when you play TFT. And then so you will see the fight, you will see the game. So this is one of the strategy like you can try to do is like when you have a very bad spot, you have to greed as much as possible in order to plan a comeback, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's 56 HP, but he decides not to roll now, he decides not to push now and wait 3-4 or 3-5 in order to push level 6 and start rolling for the Yasuo and the super. By doing that, he's maybe earning like 20 more gold than if you pushed before, and that 20 gold can make the huge difference into finding the Yasuo 3, the Malphite 3, the Fiora 3, all of these things. And yeah, because if you don't have them, of course you lose. So here, because he has a lot of tiers, he decides to pick gloves. Why? Because Hand of Justice is probably one of the best item on Yasuo if you can crit on thanks to Jewel Lotus or Jewel Gauntlet. So this is why also he has to make use of his tiers, because apart from Hand of Justice, there's pretty much nothing else to make. So that's why he picked gloves. He really needs to slam his items because like he's been grading a lot, playing without items for a long time. So he cannot do that anymore, otherwise he just loses. And here's the moment when he roll. So he's level 6 and he has 60 gold and he removes everything like you can see here. Just play the super, play the duelist, find the Yasuo if he wants to find the Yasuo. And at this point he has to roll pretty aggressively if he doesn't find everything, because if he keeps greeding he will lose the game. So yeah. He found one Yasuo at least. He's a bit slow, but anyway, that's the thing. So Hand of Justice, good. And he also makes, how is it called? Archangel stuff, because he needs to use his item. Like, even if that's not the perfect item, it's much better than not using the items. Like, he's 44 HP. So guys, if you, like him, you're trying to make a comeback, you're playing from behind, you can greed for a few rounds, but after a moment, you have to realize that you can't greed forever. So you need to slam your items, even if they are not optimal. He has a small loss here. Honestly, it's not that bad. It's a very small loss, but anyway, he needs to... yeah, he needed to put the Malphite. Okay, that's why he lost, actually. I forgot that, but there was still Lux. He didn't have the time to change it. That was a huge transition. He literally had to sell the whole board and find all the units because he had nothing on the bench. And now he's a really good spot. Honestly, with this, he just lacks maybe Fiora 2 or Gangplank 2, but he's very, very stabilized now. And I think he will like win this fight. Because thanks to the new augment, I mean not the new augment, but the augment of Renderer, Yasuo now he's much smarter. Like you can see, he will always try to target like 3 or 4 units, if he can, of course. And that's such a huge difference. Like he deals so much damage. And this is why now suddenly this augment is good, because before, like so many times Yasuo would just ult, I don't know, people's bench instead of units on the board, this kind of stuff. So right now I would say it's kind of the Remo moment, so the boring moment. You just like roll a bit every turn, you try to keep... he's not doing this, I don't know why. He's rolling more aggressively here. Maybe he wanted to... I don't know what he wanted to find, like he's not close to a big upgrade. So he could have stayed at 50 gold. But anyway, it's not a problem. He managed to have everything except Gangplank at 2-star. And this is very important because now he's very like stabilized. He put the item on Malphite. I think the best tank here is Fiora. But anyway, Fiora or Malphite. Actually, what's really important is to put the items, the defensive items, on the first 3-star unit. Okay, here it's something that he didn't know back then, but he learned it, and I learned from that as well, is that when Yasuo doesn't have CC immunity, thanks to Quicksilver or Verdant Veil, it will happen many times, especially late game, that when he starts to make his ultimate animation, so he will start moving and charging his tornado or whatever, if he gets CC'd at this moment, he will literally lose all his mana and nothing will happen. And if that happens, that can happen a lot in late games because we have a huge AoE CC such as Garen, Janna, you know the stuff, right? So that's why if you have this kind of thing, that prevents bad fights to happen, random bad fights to happen, and literally lose your game because maybe you were at 5 HP because you played from behind like this guy. So he didn't know that. He decided to take another augment. He took the duelist crown because like that was the best of the 3 options here. And he said in the stream that he regrets picking the duelist and not picking something else because it's not that important. It's good. It's good comfort because you can achieve 6 duelists sooner. But yeah. So here he rose aggressively because anyway, as you can see, he's 24 HP. He needs to find his 3 stars. He has lower champion duplicator. I think that's called like this. So he's really close to finding Yasuo 3. And actually he will reuse it now because, yeah, he can't lose more fights anymore. And this is it. Yasuo 3. Are you guys ready to see Yasuo 3 with the renderer augment? Because this will slap hard. Check this Yasuo. Wazagi! Up, no one. This is stupid. This is so stupid. And he doesn't even have the best items, but he has really good items like 2 Hand of Justice plus Archangel plus Jewel Lotus augment. So he has like, I think he has 100% crit or close to it. I forgot about how much crit he can get from Jewel Lotus. But anyway, yeah, Yasuo 3 guys, 3 super. You have no counterplay. You just have no counterplay. And if you pack yourself, like this is what happens. So after that, because he has 1 duelist spatula, he decides rather to try to push level 7 and add Nyla in order to activate the 6 duelist instead of potentially spending 10 more rounds trying to find just Malphite 2. He understood that anyway he's far from that. He has a low econ and he has low health, so he kind of have to be stronger now immediately and survive and potentially scale from that rather than scale and die before finding the power spike. So this is also something you have to consider when you play super or rework comps. It's sometimes you have to give up on finding all the units 3 stars because your spot just doesn't allow you to do so. Or if you do it, it's like you're greeding too much and you might just lose because of that. As you can see here just now, Yasuo got CC'd by Morgana during the animation and the tornado didn't exist. And he as well, you know, 2 times in a row. So this is why actually QSS and Verdant Veil are really useful for Yasuo because this can literally make you lose late game fights. Here, it didn't have any consequence, but in late game, this can be fatal. Deadly. Yeah, deadly. It's more Englisher. So honestly, from this spot, there's almost nothing else to say except watching the fights and watching Yasuo doing Yasuo thing. Like, look at this. Just look at this. No more front line. 1 cast, no front line. And then go on the back line, charging the mana, and then one-shotting Nico, almost one-shotting Sona 3. Let's go. It's too easy. So apparently he dropped another spatula on the PvE, so he puts another duelist. That's why he can remove Nyla, who is completely useless. And instead he puts Ox Force, I guess to buff the Fiora, because it's Fiora 3 with Thieves Gloves. And yeah, I mean, look at this Yasuo. It's Yasuo. And okay, yeah, there's Verdant Veil in front of him, so no one gets CC'd. But I think there's no better CC than death. If you're dead, it's like infinite CC, right? So yeah, cool. So now he puts Alistar. That's much better than Annie, of course, because it brings Mascot. And even like Alistar is overall better unit than Annie if you don't play Spellslingers. All right. So apparently Kai'Sa... Oh, Kai'Sa is dead. Yeah, apparently like a Star Guardian, especially if you have the emblem and you put on Misfortune, is one of the strongest comp. Well, I'm sorry to say that even if it's one of the strongest comp, it just can't match Yasuo. It just can't. Like, if Yasuo didn't exist, I would say Star Guardian, play Star Guardian every single game, because Star Guardian is the strongest comp of the patch, at least for now. But Yasuo exists, so I'm gonna say instead, play Yasuo with the augment, of course. Without the augment, don't play it. If you have the augment, play Yasuo, because Yasuo is the strongest comp for the patch, and no one can beat that. Alright, let's have another example of a very high capped board. We have Mordekaiser 2, triple item. Urgot, triple item. Fiddlestick, triple item. Okay, Urgot, only 2 items. But anyway, you got it. And Yasuo getting attacked by Leona. And can he finish it? Can he finish it? Let's go, Yasuo. Yasuo is like a 3-star 5-cost unit. Just look at that. Just look at that. Mordekaiser 2, Fiddle 2, Urgot 2, Syndra, Leona that targeted Yasuo. No, he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. This guy played with underground. He cashed out a big underground. He has how is it called? High-end shopping. So he managed to find all these 2-star units, 5 costs, and still can't win. Can't win against Yasuo. Yasuo is too strong. And this is not even the best Yasuo items. Because he could have lost, let's say for instance, Fiddlestick or Urgot uses the stun on Yasuo during one of these casts, then Yasuo fizzles and then Yasuo dies. But fortunately it didn't happen, but like, if he had Quicksilver instead of one of the Hand of Justice, I think that he would not be scared to win at all. Okay, let's have another matchup. Infiniteam. Okay. I find okay. It's okay. It's Infiniteam with Severe 3. I didn't understand that, so I don't know if the setup is good. But anyway, Yasuo managed to one-shot the 2 Severes, and then there's no more team. No more team. That's it. So I can do that again and again and again. I think we can skip. I think you got the idea. But anyway, let's have at least the last fight. Let's have at least the last fight. And here we go. What do we have? It's the same. Infiniteam. Yasuo is getting Zephyr'd. We have double Severe 3. They're really scary. We have a very strong 2 Fiddlestick. Actually, it's not 2-star though, only 1-star. And look at that. Hazagi! No more Severe. So yeah, that's it. 17k damage on Yasuo. So I think you understood that this comp is completely broken, and probably Mortdog will have to make a B patch to kind of tune down these numbers, just like what happened with Time Knife Shen. While Shen, it was just open fort and hope to get Shen augment. Here, I think I would still argue that it's best to try to play this comp if you have the augment at 2-1, because if you don't have the augment at 2-1 and you try to gamble this at 3-2, well, you gamble it, so there's a high chance this doesn't happen, and if this doesn't happen, then you lose the game. So I would say be careful, don't try to force it every game. But anyway, if you can play it, if you have the augment, now you know that you can play it from pretty much any spot because it's so broken. By the way, even if Hacker got hacked and got a huge nerf, actually the Chinese LeBlanc and Pike is still very relevant. I managed to get a good second place with a good start. So you guys want to check this video how to play it, because this is much less contested now and it's much easier to find 3-star units and have great games with it. See you at the top of the ladder.
This augment might be busted.